Hello, hello, hello. We're gonna get right into Enter the Vampire episode season 2, episode 8. I've watched it already. I did record this previously, like I did the previous two, but this was one that I did get a chance to edit. I didn't even get a chance to edit this one. So this was one that just got accidentally deleted off my computer. If you know the whole story, trust me, it was an ordeal. I had to take a break. But I'm coming back to record this season 2, episode 8. I will be reacting to the trailer for season 3. I did see some little things there. It's really, really cool. If you want to follow me on social media, please follow me. I am simply Aretha everywhere. Yeah. And yeah, I guess a little bit about me. I am an Indigenous filmmaker, content creator, and streamer. Um, and so I do watch TV shows, films, whatever, and do reactions, commentary on them, things like that. Um, Most times when I'm talking, I'm like just thinking out loud. I'm not like, this might not be my actual thought. I'm just processing in my brain. I have ADHD. I'm an overthinker. I'm an overanalyzer. And as a filmmaker, I don't know about you, but I have a hard time watching shows and not like be like, that was an interesting decision. Why did they do that? I was just actually talking about this, about a show that I was watching with my mom, and I was like, okay, this person's supposed to be like the best at their job, and they're really not that great. So I'm like, is this just bad writing? Or is it that they're actually not good at their job and this is a lie? Yeah, so I don't know. I have a hard time watching shows and not doing this analyze thing. I have a hard time. Unless it's like really, really good and I get lost in it and then I'm like, okay, whatever. But then I'd like to go back and I watch it again. And then I do the analytical things. If you notice, I always stall. I don't like endings of things. I have a hard time watching. I kid you not. When I know a show is ending, I won't watch last season. There's so many shows I didn't watch last season because I just didn't want it to end. So in my mind, I know this isn't right, but not watching the last season just seems to be a thing. Am I the only one? Are you like that? Anyone? Anyways, let's get started. Let's watch the final episode. I have it queued up, and yeah, let's see what happens. Just I guess a continuation. If you didn't watch the previous episode or didn't watch me reacting to the perfect one or the previous episode, uh, in summary, Lestat shows up for a trial that's been basically orchestrated against Claudia and Louis, and Armand has portrayed them, basically sold them out, and so now they are on trial. Uh, but you know, someone intervened and basically made the crowd say banishment instead of death. So Louis got banished, and Claudia and Madeline got yeah, Madeline, right? Uh, Margaret or Madeline? I'm bad with names, especially oh god, I'm horrible with names, especially when they like sound similar to me. I'm like, okay, whatever. Um, and so they got put to death by this telescope thing was in the in the roof that basically fried them from the sun because it was in the afternoon. And so they are now both dead, all in front of Lestat. So that is where we're at. Louis is currently in a coffin filled with rocks, and the trial has happened, and Claudia and Madeline are dead. I'm pretty sure it's Madeline. Anyways, okay, let's get started. Okay, and that the end of it. There's nothing else. That's the end of it. There's nothing else. Okay.
A quiet, easeful death. What else would it be? I had nowhere to go, no one to talk to.
Hmm.
She was dead. I knew it. Claudia was dead. I could feel it, like I couldn't feel my hands. Would I have resisted Lestat 2 decades later? Snatch the candy. Be the man in the different suit. But the suit changes nothing. Does anyone ever ask Lazarus if and again, I'm kissing Lestat. I don't read the Bible much anymore.
Yep. Okay, so he's in the coffin. He's hallucinating. He just wants to die, and of course, no one asks him. No one asks him, and now he's being woken up again.
I was dead.
Oh, he's definitely lost it. Wait, is this a crypt that goes downstairs? I guess I've seen these crypts like on TV shows, but I've never actually seen them in real life.
Speak English. You're not a farmer. I would use the machete.
One of them tries to escape.
You should stand at the top of the stairs.
Oh. Plotting with the hallucinations now, are we?
Cut their feet off if they go up, but enrage if they run downstairs for the soup.
That's better.
Is it only in high points of his, like, when he's not in his right mind, when he's not in when he is not in his right mind,
I don't have any use for it now. I know you.
is that when the hallucinations are the worst? Which I think lends to, sorry, can't hear myself. Which lends to the idea that possibly that, I don't know. If it is mental illness, shouldn't it be happening all the time, not sporadically, only when he's in high points of, like, stress? Because, you know what I mean? Like, during the whole thing that was happening in, while he was with the vampires, like, you know, that's when he was, like, watching Lestat. Like, he had the hallucination of Lestat. And now he has hallucination of these people, but you understand he's in a lot of stress right now. So, I know we talked about mental illness running in families, and possibly that, you know, his brother was probably mentally ill, so he probably has it as well. But his brother seemed to have it all the time. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. Is that... I'm not an expert on mental illness, okay? There's different types of mental illness, there's different studies, and they change all the time because the studies change, information, you learn more about them. But would it be more consistent? Because it seems like the hallucinations aren't there when he is in a good place. Or maybe that is. I don't know. I'm overthinking it. Anyone a mental health expert can confirm that? Wouldn't it happen all the time?
No. But I could sense the fatalism in his thoughts.
And one of me, I was going to die either way.
Same question to you. They were your coven for hundreds of years. You had no feelings for any of them?
I had complicated feelings.
But you didn't warn any of them?
No.
13 to 1. Maybe you were hedging your bets?
It could have been 13 to 2. I'm just saying.
I didn't know.
Or you wouldn't count on him. It could have been 13 to 2.
Him, Daniel.
My prevailing thought was, if I'm not with him, I'm nothing.
Trouble diddly dead. Tweedly deedly dead.
So what was the plan?
Tweedly deedly dead. Oh. Oh. Oh my goodness. One by one, he takes them out.
He's come home. This was Magnus's lair.
Some distance between the happy couple. Details left to work out after the homicide of Fralik?
That's where he kept you? Chained to the wall?
No. This was for the disappointments. The great laws.
What fucking law did you ever follow? Stop.
Good question. What laws did you follow?
I've come to kill you.
I have the blood of Magnus in me.
Magnus burned.
Agnes burned.
I have the blood of Akasha in me. He
Oh.
doesn't know who that is. But the fact in and of itself makes your immediate desire an impossibility.
Here's your death. Let's start.
Oh my god. Okay. Does he do this because he knows Lestat can't kill him? Or just to rub like salt in the wound, knowing that he'll never have him? But I still reiterate what I said in the comments. They should just make a throuple and call it a day.
We're not gonna spend the rest of our lives together.
Ooh, laying in the
Not
little seeds of
praise.
doubt.
What do you think he meant by that, Louis?
It's fairly obvious. He didn't think we would make it. 77 years.
Almost to the day.
We left him.
It's like the more you learn about the story that everyone's feeding each other, they're like, hey, here's my events. It's like social media. You know when people are like, oh, I've been traveling all these places and cool, blah, blah, blah. But you actually know what they're doing and why they're there. It's not because they're travel vloggers. It's because they usually have other jobs that just happen to be there. I mean, that's how I travel. It's usually for work. But you know what I mean? Like, or like, I have all these things or this stuff or blah, blah, blah. And this is my life. It's so perfect. Here's my perfect family. It's an illusion. It's what we feed people when we control the narrative. But when you're able to question it and ask questions about what is actually happening, you actually are able to break down the lie. And I feel like that's what he's doing. He's just like, is that really how it went?
Rashid, should we begin dinner preparations?
Yes, sir.
I do hope you'll join us.
I'd be honored. Okay, let me just look at my list one more time here.
This would be me, like,
another-
trying to
another
break
New
down a
Orleans
story,
thing,
asking a million and
I
one
mean,
questions. I mean, that's basically what I'm doing
jumping all
here.
over the place here, but
Just no one's answering me. Well,
the
people
night
do in the
that
comments
Lestat
sometimes.
brings all those soldiers home and you tell him to throw them out. How many soldiers did he mindfuck out of the townhouse that night?
I don't know.
10, 15?
More like 30?
Huh.
Hmm.
I know it's a stretch, but
It's in your nature, Mr. Molloy. Couldn't get out the door without lobbing one more bomb.
Well, you said it yourself just now. He loved Louis. Lestat would have tried to save him as much as you did.
And he certainly would have made it known that he had. Shall we take these follow-ups and specious theories to the dining room?
Santiago should hand the diary into the audience, have them feel the evidence in their hands. This is too early for Lestat to acknowledge Louis. Keep the tension. Have him look at Louis later the moment he describes meeting him in New Orleans. These are just some notes along the margins here. We need an animation here. It's not clear how extreme the hoarding was.
Where did you get that?
Read it for yourself.
Oh, the lies! The lies! Wow. Eek! Move faster, Daniel. Jesus. You know, for a very expensive home, they have really thin walls. I'm just saying.
Rashid? to see you.
And what does your companion think of that?
I'm companion enough for myself now.
Good for you. Besides, I knew you'd figure it out.
Eventually.
You have. I was
77
right.
years later.
Oh, hell me.
But you still didn't save Claudia. Well, I mean, I guess that would have taken a lot of time, like time and energy out of you. Because actually, if you see them afterwards, they're standing on the stage. He looks like shaken, like he's like
Not enduring.
trying, like recovering.
Living.
You hear me? I carried her home. I made you turn her.
I feel like at any point, either one of them could have saved her. And I mean, not like in that situation. I mean, if we know what we know, like, I mean, this is the thing about hindsight. You know information about what happened. They
Like
could
a
have just
child,
left at any time.
looking to her father. But I was new.
With your dinky little provincial news desk. Yeah, I did interview an actual vampire. Oh, here's the camera. I interviewed an actual actually two vampires, a species that's lived among us for centuries, and it's supported by a mountain of historical documentation.
Oh,
This
the
is the
dress.
vampire Louis Dulac. I live in the penthouse apartment at the Al Sharaf Towers in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. So for all you cowards out there talking shit,
Huh?
talking about taking a run at me, hear this now, and hear it plain. I own the night.
You know what? I always feel so bad because I'm like, okay. First of all, sometimes I get really caught up in it and I forget to do commentary, which is fine. So, we're going to summarize what we're talking about so far. Anyways, I feel like this is like this is like that journey of that woman who's like, "Oh my god, I need a man to exist." And then also like, "I don't need no man. I got myself, me, myself and I, and I'm good." Those kind of people. The I am woman, hear me roar. I don't need no man. Those people. I mean, it is true. I'm just saying his journey was like that of like, oh, needing a companion, needing something, always having these people, and then eventually being like, I got to be enough for myself. And I think that's where Louis actually ended up getting to the point. But I thought it was interesting. Anyways, I'm really excited about it. I like how Lestat brought up having the blood of Akasha in his veins. And yeah, and they said that Magnus burned. Is Magnus actually dead? Again, I always forget. I'm like, I got the memory of a goldfish sometimes, and especially when I'm really, really like tired, it's even worse. But I watch a lot of films. As a filmmaker, I also am a program director for a film festival, so I'm actually currently watching like we had 200 film submissions, so I'm currently going through a whole bunch of like documentaries, films. It's an Indigenous film festival, so it's different content, but so I do watch a lot of things, and so I find sometimes like even those films, sometimes I'm like, oh my god, I totally forgot about this film, but I did watch it. I think memory is a very hard thing to do because if we boil everything down to facts, I think that's the hard part. Because it's like, yeah, it's the little details that are actually really important. Anyways, yeah, so I'm really excited about the next season. Queen of the Damned is my favorite book. It's always been my favorite book. I haven't read it in a while. I think I've read it like 4 or 5 times. Like, I've read it quite a bit. But because I haven't really been reading a lot of books, because I've been doing other things, so I've been doing audiobooks, so that's why I actually listen to Interview with the Vampire as audiobook. I'm I think I'm basically on the last hour. I'm in the part where Louis is about to turn Madeline. And I was right. I was remembering it because as I was listening to the audiobook, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. Yes. It was to replace a daughter. The relationship was different. And then this relationship, because they made her older, was more of like a sisterhood slash lover slash companion thing, that was more apparent than the other one. And so yeah, I I do like that little subtle change, and I think um even in this whole thing, like Louis is being very confrontational and saying like, "Hey, listen, if y'all want to kill me, this is where I live. Feel free to show up." But at the end of the day, I don't think Lestat and or Armand are gonna let that happen. I don't think they will. What did you think of the episode? I found it really hard to commentary because I was just like lost in the story. And I love stories like that where you get lost into them. Like as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, as someone who loves watching TVs and movies, when I'm like silent because I'm just like, oh my God, I'm lost in the story, it is so much more. Yeah. Anyways, what did you think of it? Um, did you think, now that we've watched the whole season, and we know now that uh Sam got the Critics' Choice nomination and no one else did from the show. Do you still feel good about that? Okay, I just realized that. I mean, there was the hallucination, and then there was that scene, and then there's this scene. I mean, yeah, I definitely believe he does. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the nomination. I'm saying I agree. I think he does deserve the nomination. I just think that multiple people should have had nominations from the show. But I think you can only have so many nominations. Like you can't have 20 million people in a nomination category. They probably, if you've noticed, most shows will have like five or six people nominated in a category, right? So if we narrow it down to five or six per category, it's not only about who deserved it from the show, but then it's like, okay, based on your peers on other shows, were you the top five? And I think that's the hard part, right? Because like some shows will have more than one character in the same category, right? They'll have like one or more character from that show in the same category, and they're going up against their peers in the show. But really, it's not as simple as, oh, did this person deserve it? No, it's, did they deserve it, and were they top five or top six based on all the other material that was out there, you know? And that's the hard part. And I don't actually know who the other people were from the other shows. This actually reminds me of when I kept getting mad at Breaking Bad for winning all the awards. And I'm like, listen, the Americans, I love the Americans. I rewatched that show so many times. I love the Americans. Never won. I think it should have won. There were other shows that I watched that I was like, why aren't these shows getting even a nomination? Like, why aren't they winning? Why is it always Breaking Bad? And then finally, I was like, okay, I had always meant to watch Breaking Bad, but I never watched it. And then I watched Breaking Bad and I was like, okay, sorry. Let me backtrack. I get why it won all the awards now. I mean, it didn't mean it was better. And I do think that the shows that I was talking about should have got nominations, and they did. Um, yeah. Do I think it should have won? I don't know. Like I don't know. They were both really well, but Breaking Bad was pretty good. So I think that's the hard part, right? So it's not just as simple as should these people be nominated? It's, are they top five? So to determine that, we'd have to watch all the other people that were nominated and say, do you think this person should have been in that category over this person? You know? And that's the hard part, because so like I said, I do I am a program director for an Indigenous Film Festival, and that's something that I have to do. I only have so much time. There are a lot of great movies and films and even TV show episodes that get submitted every year, and I love them. They're great. They're awesome. I wish I had all the time in the world that I could put them in there, but I only have so many days and so much time in a day. And I tend to already hey, I only have like one day I had like 8 hours, right? 8 hours to fill like a whole day of filming and film schedules and programming. One day I packed it so much that I had 15-minute breaks in between them. Like it was like, oh my goodness, I never want to do that again. I felt really bad, but it was like, oh, I needed to make this fit, this fit, this fit. And then I was like, I barely had any time. And I can tell you, once you think about the struggle of how programming works and how just even juries work, of how selection works, you understand that it's not so cut and dry of this person deserves a nomination. It's this person deserves a nomination, but we're not talking about just the show. We're talking about shows and multiple actors and characters. And do you think their body of work is what is going to elevate them more? And I think there are times when people are like, listen, the show's been around for a long time, never got a nomination. You know, the show's going to end soon. If you're going to give this show any sort of recognition, you're going to want to nominate someone from the show. And then it becomes a little bit strategic at that point. So that's why some people are like, they'll get nominated for something and they'll be like, listen, I don't even think my body of work was good this year. I think I should have got it previous years, but I don't think this year was good. But maybe it was just a thing of like, hey, this is our time now. If we ever want to give this person any nomination for this show, which we think they should have gotten, it's just they weren't top 5. Then maybe we'll just give it to them now. So again, like there's so many things that go into whether or not to select something and whether or not you give it an award, why you give it an award, you know, things like that. So I think once you understand that aspect a little bit, you kind of understand why not everyone would have gotten a nomination. What did you think of it? Did you like it? I want to check out the other awards. Also, my friend and I were talking about doing a award watching party as well. But yeah, let's hopefully the show gets some other awards, especially I think music should have happened, costuming, projections, that's what I was talking about. Awards or projections, that's what it was. But the music I think was really, really good. I think the scripts are good. The actors are obviously great, you know. But overall, I think the show is like just perfection. I love this show. The show is so good. And yeah. So I will be reacting to the next trailer and uploading that. But other than that, I'll probably move on to another TV show. I have been watching some reality shows, but we'll see. Anyways, thank you all for being here. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It just really helps my channel. And yeah, I don't know, or comment below. What do you think I should watch? What did you think? A controversial question. Let's see. Let me leave you with the question. If you've read the books, do you like... Okay. Let's even go further. Do you like the book, the movie, or the TV show? What is your favorite? Let me know below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.